from the John Bush Show. You gotta tell me what that is. It sounds pretty interesting, brother. Y'all put your hands together. Y'all put your hands together for John Bush. Put your hands together.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. So my name is John Bush. I'm from the John Bush Show. It's a YouTube channel I created to talk about all types of stuff like American history, civil rights issues, things like that. And today, I got a speech for y'all, okay? This is not gonna be a feel-good speech. It's not gonna be a fluffy speech. It's gonna be a truth and educational speech. That's why I got this big monitor up here to take everyone to school for a little bit, but this is gonna be a true speech. The truth hurts, but it'll set you free. All right, I need everyone to take a look at this map right here. This is a skin color map, okay? This is what, they don't teach this stuff in school. This is a map of how the UV rays hit certain countries in this globe. And if you see, Africa is hit the hardest by UV rays. The sun exposure is the most in Africa. And human beings started in Africa. If Adam and Eve were alive today, they would look like this. These are the original humans. They look like Africans, dark skin, and they have peppercorn hair. Peppercorn hair is Afro texture hair. Actually, black people have the original hair. We are the original people. 100,000 years ago, everyone looked like this because this is where skin color comes from. Our melanin, this whole 400 years, we've been acting a fool, white folks hating black folks hating white folks. This comes because of a chemical called melanin. That's all this has been about. So as Africans left the continent and went to Europe, look at how light it is. That's the only reason why Europeans have light skin. Because Europeans, when Africans left, it's actually called the Grimaldi people. There's a group of people, of Africans that left the continent and went to Europe. If you've ever been to Spain, England, I was there last year, there's barely any sun. It's like this all the time. So they didn't need an abundance of melanin. They didn't need it. So they were products of their environment. They lost the vitamin D3 in their skin, and their skin became fair complected or lighter skin. We stayed in Africa. You have to have melanin in Africa. In fact, you have to have Afro textured hair because it keeps you cool all day. We were outside all day. This is where this comes from. So actually, racism is scientifically stupid because basically what it is that you're hating someone because of their environment. You're not hating me because my skin is dark. You're hating me because the sun made my skin darker. That's all it is. The reason I talk about these things in science and history is because I started hanging out with people from all over the country. I have a young lady here right now with me from Russia. When I started hanging out with people from Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, Yoruba people, I realized that Steve, the guy who put this thing on, Becky across the street, they're not that much different than me. We are Americans. I think we forget that we're Americans. Black Americans are not that much different than white Americans. I know they like to preach that, but we're not that much different. We celebrate Christmas together, speak the same language, we have the same culture. Did you know in Eastern Europe, they wear their wedding ring on their right hand, and if you wear your wedding ring on your left hand, that means you're divorced or widowed. I know people from Kazakhstan, other countries, they never heard of Bill Cosby. Anything culturally, it's completely different. So that's why we have to look at it. We're Americans. We have a very unique culture, and we have to appreciate that. So there was a time in my life where I was watching the media, the news all day, and I started hating white people because I saw them killing us all the time. I started to walk around with a chip on my shoulder. I started to get hate into my heart, and that hate ate me up, okay? Until I got my DNA tested. And I learned that when I was hating the white man, I was also hating myself, okay? Because most Americans are mixed, believe it or not. This is my DNA right here. This is my ethnic background. If y'all take a look. When you get your DNA tested, people, it's not gonna say black. It's going to say you are Nigerian, Cameroonian, Bantu people, and I'm actually, on my dad's side, I'm mixed with English and Irish. I'm 20-something% European. In fact, that's why racism is so dumb. Most people in America are mixed. If you Google right now a man named Craig Cobb is a white supremacist that got his DNA tested, and he's 15% Nigerian. There was another white supremacist got his DNA tested. He was part Jewish. We're all mixed because we're all God's children. We are the human race. That's all it is. In fact, racial classifications in general don't make sense. Racial classification is you're black, I'm white, you're Asian, you're Hispanic. That's what that is. It's completely made up, and it's been damaging to the community as Americans. Why? Because Mexicans used to be considered white. Whoever gets white status gets upgraded status in this country. Anybody. Mexicans were considered white at one point. Today, Egyptians from Africa are considered white when you look up the US Census. It's a thing that they put to divide us. That's all it is. So, how do we defeat racism? How do we defeat hate and all these other things? It starts with you as an individual. It starts with the person. It's not, oh, they have to fix everything. You have to fix it in yourself, because there was a time I hated white men, because white men got all the money. I started to hate white people because of the economics that they have in this country. Until one day, God had to deal with me. And he said, John, you walking around acting like you're oppressed, your faith is too low. So if you put the white man on a pedestal as though he can control your life, then we worship the wrong God. Because the truth is, when you have that faith, God controls your life. We cannot let the white man control our lives like that and give them that much power. Honestly, any door a white man can close, God can open it up for me. And you got to have that mindset. And when I adopted that mindset, I ended up getting an investment in my first business from a white man. It blew my mind. In fact, the white man is not our enemy, the devil is. Okay, the devil comes to do three things: kill, steal, and destroy. And he uses people to do his job. That's it. He'll use a black person, a white person, Asian person, it does not matter. That's why my favorite quote by Martin Luther King is, judge a man by the content of his character and not by his skin complexion. Okay? Y'all forget, Hitler was white. He killed a bunch of Jewish people, not out of love, he killed them out of hate. Okay? Even in Rwanda today, in the 1994 Rwandan genocide, over 1 million Rwandan people died because of their ethnic background. We think of people in Africa as just black. They don't think of it like that. In Rwanda, they have different tribes and ethnic groups, and they were killing each other because hate and racism transfers wherever you go. Now, this is a little scientific, but the truth is, there's not that much difference between a black man and a white man. It's just phenotype, your hair texture, your skin color, that's about it. You want to know the biggest differences between humans across the globe? It's between male and female. There are over 6,000 genetic differences between male and female, and you can't change it with surgery or hormones. That's the biggest difference. God made us male and female, not black and white. The environment did that. The sun made us black and white, okay? So we got to stop worshiping, melanin or the lack of melanin. That's what white supremacy is. You're just worshiping the lack of melanin. Or some people worship melanin in general. Now, the young man, Rashad, he talked about this earlier. Family and love is so important, okay? If we really want to help black people, if we really want to help this nation, it's through love and family. How do I know that? This is a sad statistic. Over 70% of black children, and even half black children, black and white, black and Latino, are born to single mothers. I'm one of them. My dad left. And being a product of divorce was devastating. And that's why I like when I see men of all colors taking care of their children. In our community, we don't push commitment and loyalty. How do I know? Look at, what's the biggest music in this country? Hip hop. When's the last time Drake and Future talked about commitment to one woman? They don't talk about it because it's not in our culture. We don't talk, in hip hop culture, it's not to commit, it's to have baby mamas, knock up as many people as you can, and that's actually part of the problem. Statistically, if a child does not have his father, there's going to be issues. So we got to get back to love, and we got to get back to committing to one woman. Let's get to the police. This is a hot debate topic. The police. Police are overfunded and overused. When a stray cat is lost in the neighborhood, what do? We call the police. We do not need to be calling the police over a stray cat. And that's the thing. We need to have more money allocated to mental health, addiction abuse, and things like that. Okay, the police are not needed for everything. And I'm gonna wrap up. It's starting to rain a little bit. Okay, this is one of my biggest points. I need everyone to hear me. This is a discriminatory sign against Irish people. They don't teach this because they want everyone to think it's black versus white, but it was white versus white for centuries in this country. When the Irish came here, they were discriminated against, so they created gangs. In New York, it's called the 5 Points Gang. They created gangs to break the law to feed their family because they were impoverished. Sounds familiar, right? This is a lynching. This is not of black people. This is a lynching of Italians, because Italians were discriminated against when they came here. Italians were discriminated against when they came here, just like black folks. And they were impoverished, and in Italian neighborhoods, they had to break the law to feed their family. Sound familiar, right? But they were able to assimilate. Italians and Irish, the European Jew, they were not considered white at first. Only English was considered white. So they were able to assimilate. So as all these Europeans assimilated to white, it left black folks out like a sore thumb. And we cannot assimilate because our complexion is different. The largest organ in the body is the skin. So it's hard for us to assimilate. So how do black people assimilate like Italians and Jewish people? It's this right here. Reparations. Black folks need economic resources, economic fairness, and reparations. It will take 250 years for the average black family to have the same wealth as the average white family. And guess how long slavery was? 250 years. So for each year of slavery was one less year of generational wealth we were able to pass down. So if we want to help black folks, we got to get this fight going. Economics. That's how we get on the same level as everybody else and assimilate. Okay? Thank you, everybody. That's been my time. Appreciate you.
All right. One more time for John Bush. Give it up. Put your hands together.